Persons meeting, please join me in the flag salute. I look for a motion to approve the September 2nd meeting minutes.
So moved. Second.
Motion to second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion to accept the warrants.
So moved. Seconded.
Motion to second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Abstaining? Okay. Would somebody read the announcements, please?
Okay. There'll be a public hearing on the recall of the town treasurer on Thursday, September 11th at 6 p.m. at the Limerick Fire Station. The Historical Society will have an open house at the Academy on Saturday, September 13th from 10 to 2 p.m. All are invited. And the Select Board will meet on Monday, September 15th at 7 p.m. The Planning Board will hold a site walk for proposed application for an amendment to the Route 5 and Foss Road subdivision approved by the Limerick Planning Board on March 2nd, 2022. The site walk will be on Wednesday, September 17th at 6 p.m. with a public hearing to follow at 7 p.m. at the Municipal Building, 55 Washington Street in the Media Room. The tax collector and town clerk will be closed on Fridays until September 26th. Sorry for any inconvenience. And there will be a public vote by secret ballot on Friday, September 19th from 8 to 8 p.m. for the recall of the town treasurer. The vote will be held at the Municipal Building in the Media Room. There will be a public hearing for the November ballot questions on Thursday, September 25th at 6 p.m. at the Limerick Fire Station. And as part of the hearing, a citizens policy, no personal attacks on any individual or firm, including town employees, town officials, or members of the public, will be tolerated during any meetings. Please direct concerns about individual employees or town officials to the chairman of the Board of Select Persons outside the public meeting. Please stay current with town information by visiting www.limerickme.org.
Perfect, thank you. Before we move further, I do just want to acknowledge that we have received a resignation letter from Chief Pelletier. He let us know that his final day will be December 31st of this year. And we'll have to start the hiring process. I think it goes without saying I thank him for everything he's done, but we still have a couple more months, so we don't have to get all sad yet. We'll move on to department reports. Mike O'Donnell.
Appreciate you taking me in early on the meeting. Normally I don't come here this time of year. We just have usually a couple of small abatements to clean things up after the tax commitment. But this year I made a pretty significant mistake that requires a little bit more cleanup. So I thought it best to come and tell you about what I did and what I'm doing to clean it up. So as part of the pickups this year, every year we go around your town. We have a list of all the new building permits. We have a list of all the properties that aren't completed. And we go to those properties. It's like 250 properties a year. This year when I generated that list, and this is my mistake, it's 100% on my shoulders, I did not print all of those visits as I handed them to my staff to go make the visits. So there were a series of properties they did not go to. Came to my attention after we committed taxes because they were brand new houses that got a land value but no building value. So when something's omitted like that, we're obligated, well, you as the assessors and us as your assessors agents, we're obligated to add those to the tax rolls. So what I'm bringing you to you tonight are 16 supplemental assessments for houses that were existing, should have been taxed, and we missed. Now, every property that we didn't visit, we've since visited. So some of those, they started them late, so there wouldn't have been anything to tax anyway. Others were very, very minor changes that we're sort of just going to push those to next year. But these are the ones where there were significant omissions and warrant a supplemental tax assessment. So I have for you just 2 pages to sign because it's essentially a tax commitment. The 16 individual letters will go out to the taxpayers with a supplemental tax bill. I've coordinated this with Judy, so she's aware, and I'm going to run these supplements for her. So the overall burden to the town is not a lot, but it is a big overstep. I had never done this before, but I did it. And so you're going to have 16 people who are going to get bills in addition to the bill they already got. Most of them are going to realize it. They're all pretty much brand-new houses. So I wanted to come and meet you personally and tell you that, just so you didn't have taxpayers sort of complaining about getting billed twice. You know, a small number of people will get billed twice, but for what they own and what they would have been taxed for anyway. So I also have 2 abatements. Those I normally wouldn't be here for. One is a minor cleanup. We taxed a house for much more progress than they had on April 1st. And another one was an old tax bill where there was some interest and fees that weren't pertinent to that tax owner. So before I give you paper to sign, any questions?
I don't have any, no.
All right, so it's 4 signatures. So first, we'll do the commitment papers. Just sign and go down the line. There's actually 2 pages
Do we have to
to a
vote on
tax
that?
supplemental
Do we have to
tax
vote on
commitment.
We'll have to vote on the abatement, but I don't think we have to vote on the supplements.
Do you vote abatements or just sign them?
I think we usually vote the abatements, but we won't vote, I don't think we normally vote the supplements.
Yeah, you don't have to vote a supplement. Once you sign it, it's like a commitment paper.
Yeah.
Yep. Do you want me to read the abatements? Or do you want me to hand it to one of you to read them?
You might as well go ahead while we're signing, if that's all right.
Okay, so this one is map 44, lot 218. It's for $277.43. Do you need the taxpayers' names or just that?
I think just the name and, or the
Map and lot
map and lot
number.
number.
Map 44, lot 218, for a total of $277.43 for the 2024 tax year.
Did you not have the list, is there these that we signed the commitment on?
The supplements?
Yeah, there was 16 of them, you
I
said?
have them all here. You
Are
want me
they
to copy
each
them?
individual?
Yes. You don't have to sign them individually. It's like a commitment book.
Can
These
we just
essentially make
see
up the
them?
commitment book.
Can we
What-
just see them?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
They're all basically exactly the same. Well, the numbers are different. The values are slightly different from one to the next. Or if you prefer, I can email you a list. So the other abatement is map 32, lot 6P, as in Patriot. And that one is for $1,221.67 for the 2025 tax year. And that's a house that was not started on April 1st, but when we got there, it was nearly done, so we taxed it. Turns out we shouldn't have.
So I make a motion that we approve the abatement for map 32, lot 6. P.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is there any discussion? I think you told us the reason, so all those in favor? Perfect. Perfect. And then I also make a motion that we approve the abatement for map 44, lot 218. Is that the other one?
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? All right, perfect. Thank you for coming to us and letting us know and
Yeah, sorry
fixing
about
it.
the mistake.
No, it's okay. Everyone makes mistakes.
Yeah, well, this is the first time I've ever done it. So I've been doing this a really long time. But I'm also getting old. Thanks.
Perfect. So we will sign those and it should be ready, yeah. Next on department reports, I have Neil Meltzer for Deep Vale with a report to review.
Good evening, Neil Meltzer for the Community Development Advisory Committee. The town was fortunate enough to get just about $1 million to do the Deep Vale project. For those of you who don't know what that is, that's replacing about 1,400 feet of water line on Emery Corner Road. That's a very old line and also feeds the main system. It's replacing some galvanized line on Watson Hill, and it's replacing 400 feet of sewer line, which is original sewer line that runs right along the shores of Secocas Lake. So it's an incredibly important project. Between the grant from the state and ARPA funds and also what's in reserve, this project is not going to cost the taxpayers a dime. This project will be completely paid for between the grant and the monies that have already been accounted for. As part of the community development block grant process, bids have to be solicited for engineers, contractors, and things like that. And the committee has been working with John Cleveland and Community Dynamics to solicit bids for engineers for the project. That's really the first step. John contacted 8 engineering firms, including A.E. Hodgson, Dirigo Engineering, Wright Pierce, CES Inc., Sebago Techniques, Underwood Engineers, HEB Engineers, and Goral Palmer, in addition to advertising requests for proposals. All the 8 expressed an interest, and they got a copy of the request for proposals. As we advertised it on September 3rd, the committee met to review the proposals. We received 1 proposal, and that proposal was from Dirigo Engineering. The committee reviewed the proposal and decided that obviously what we needed to do was to meet again, which we had already set up, because the September 3rd meeting was to review the proposals, and then the committee met on September 4th to make a recommendation on the proposals. So on September 4th, the committee met and reviewed the entire proposal from Dirigo, which include drawings and specifications, contract biddings, construction inspection, administration, coordination, public hearings, and all those other really important things. This town is fortunate that it has experience with Dirigo Engineering, as does the Water District and the Sewer District. Dirigo Engineering were the engineers for the Washington Street replacement of lines, for the Hollandville project. In addition to that, the Water District worked with them on the new Emery Corner treatment program. They also did the engineering for the one of the wells for the water system, and have also worked on the lagoons on the sewage treatment plant. Based on the review and the history that the town has with Dirigo Engineering, the committee is recommending that the select board accept their bid for the engineering at $67,100. They also included in their proposal $50,000 for construction inspection, and the committee is not recommending that that part of the contract be approved. Similar to the Hollandville project, where we were fortunate enough to have local inspectors do the work, the clerk of the works, and for Hollandville, it was the water system operator. We were able to do that work at about half the cost of what it would cost to have the engineer do it. We believe that we'll also be able to do the required clerk of the works inspections for about half of that $50,000 fee, and would prefer that that be taken out of the bid. which leaves a contract of $67,100. So that is the committee's recommendation to the Select Board. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Neil, I know that we've done, this hasn't come up in the past with the CBDG money, but it's now coming up for the Hollandville money for the congressional spending, in the fact that that money was given to the town of Limerick. The town of Limerick spent that money on water and sewer pipes, which they in turn gave to the water district. That seems to be problematic with the auditors, because the congressional spending money was given to the town, and we spent it and gave the infrastructure away.
I can speak to that if you'd like me to.
So, well, I would in a second, but I just want to make sure that anything moving forward, that any agency that's giving us money is fully acknowledges the fact that if the town of Limerick is accepting the money, they're accepting it to use on the infrastructure, and that the asset will then be transferred to the water and sewer district.
So first, let's speak to the project at hand, and I would like to
Yep.
address what some of the auditor's concerns, if that's okay. The Community Development Block Grant proposal, first of all, that funding is from the state. It's a federal pass-through. It's specifically for infrastructure repairs to communities. And there was no hiding, no subterfuge about this was being done by the Limerick, for the Limerick Water District and the Limerick Sewer District. The Community Development Block Grant also contributed money to the Hollandville project. They contributed $500,000, not for the water, they wouldn't fund that, but they funded the sewer line. So they have no problem with how this money is being used. And it's an explicit purpose to do just these kinds of projects.
And I just want to make sure that they're not assuming that when they see the town of Limerick and the Limerick Water and Sewer, that they know that it's a separate entity. So I mean, many people could look at that and say, the town of Limerick, Limerick Water and Sewer, right, it's part of the town.
They could.
So I just want to make sure that, because now we have to go back and look at the ARPA money that was given to the town, that is now being allocated, that's already been allocated to the water and sewer district. So we need to confirm, they know exactly what it's being spent for. They've been told it's for water and sewer upgrades. But we need to clarify with them that those water and sewer upgrades, although they benefit the town of Limerick,
So,
they're not owned by the town of Limerick.
okay. It is in my previous life, I was involved in a lot of financing of projects for nonprofits. And nonprofits, similar to quasi-municipalities like the Water District and the Sewer District, and municipalities, seek funds from others. It is usually the norm that there are pass-through entities to these nonprofits. For example, as a nonprofit, I was responsible for applying for Community Development Block Grants, Office of Economic Development, for the nonprofit that came to the city of Sanford. Came to the city of Sanford, there was no question that it was going to the nonprofit. The nonprofit could not apply directly. The Limerick Sewer District nor the Limerick Water District cannot apply directly to the Community Development Block Grant Program. We're not allowed to, because we're not a municipality. So it's very clear that the purpose of that program, and we'll just talk about that now, is specifically for communities to help their local infrastructure, whether it be owned by them or other community nonprofits, be improved. So I believe that is an absolute valid use of the funds relative to Deepville. Does that answer that question for the CDBG for now?
Yes.
Okay. In regards to the congressionally directed spending, The congressionally directed spending for water improvements and sewer improvements is actually funded by the state revolving fund. The feds just don't come up with more money. They take money from the state pot that they were already going to give the state. They take it away from the drinking water program and the sewer clean water drinking program. And they say, you can't have this anymore. We're giving that directly to a community. So that congressionally directed spending for the Hollandville project was taken from the state revolving fund whose explicit purpose is to fund water system improvements for water districts, and from the Clean Water Fund, whose explicit purpose is to fund sewage treatment improvements for sewage districts. So I guess I could say I'm confused as to what the auditor's confusion is when you understand that what the funding source for those funds are. They're not other federal dollars that came from, magic money. They were taken from the state funds that are specifically dedicated to funding those kinds of projects. And to say that, well, those funds can't be used for that, I guess I'm just too simple. I just can't understand it.
And I'm not saying that's what they're saying. What they are saying is there was there's no document that shows that the funds that we received were going to benefit, everybody knows it. Like you said, it's very simple, and there's no document that says that once we receive those funds and we use them, those assets, the auditor has to carry the assets on somebody's books.
And they've been on ours, on the water district and the sewer districts.
They have been.
If you would like us to give them back to the town,
No,
we'd
we
be
don't
happy
want
to
them.
do
No, no.
that.
You can have them. We don't want them.
Are you sure?
Positive. And we want them to keep this improvement. As of now, it looks like they're gonna keep that improvement on the water and sewer district's books. And they will just make a footnote that although the money came to the town, that the enjoyment of that money was for town people. It's just that the asset needs to be operated and owned by the water and sewer district.
Yeah. And the other thing I would say to that is that, when we, on the water district's books and the sewer district's books, those donations are specifically called out as, construction in aid. I mean, that's how they're labeled. And, they're added to the balance sheet as an asset, but we get the depreciation on them too. So the water district and the sewer district pick up the expense of the depreciation for the gift, and which is necessary. These projects can't move forward without that. It's pretty simple. Howard asked me last time I was here, well, why can't we run new water lines? It'd be awesome to do that, but at, $150 to $250 a foot, tell me how you're going to do it without funding from somebody. You can't. The ratepayers can't pay it. They can't. So that's what these government programs are for. They're to help communities do that. And, but again, if the auditors feel that the district shouldn't have the asset, have at it. But as far as to say the funding wasn't used appropriately, I vehemently disagree with that. Just my opinion. So anyhow, it would be helpful, if it's possible, for the select board to make a decision about the engineering contract so that we can move forward. From a time frame perspective, the goal would be to start the engineering, to solicit bids early winter, when we believe the bid price will be the best, for construction to start in the spring of 2020 and be completed, start in spring 2026 and be completed a few months afterwards.
Is there a motion on the table?
Make a motion the town accept Dirigo Engineering's bid for $67,100.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? I'm going to be opposed, but it passes.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anne Marie. Marie Ann, Anne Marie,
Mary Ann.
Mary Ann, that's what it was. I threw another one in the mix.
I'm Anne Marie Carroll. I'm here to speak about the future time capsule of 2075. I made up over 200 envelopes, and they're here at the municipal building and at the fire station. There are bins in each location for you to drop this off by September 30th, because we're going to be resealing the time capsule on Saturday, October 18th. And I come up here and I check, and I've only collected 7 so far, and I know at least more than 150 have been picked up. And out of that 7, 2 of them are mine. So if you haven't filled them out, drop them off here or at the lobby at the fire station. All you have to do is ring the doorbell, go in and put them in the bin, and then we will pick them up and get them sealed properly. So any question about these? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, I have Stan Hackett, our CEO.
So I apologize for the short notice, but we've had an ongoing situation in Lake Arrowhead. It's been at least 6 weeks at this point. So I'm coming before the board to get permission to proceed with the Dangerous Building Act for 3 Division Road. There has been police presence there every day for the last 6 weeks. The owner is still in the hospital. Denies any activities going there, but yesterday spent 45 minutes with several state police officers, and they arrested multiple people, including the homeowner's girlfriend. So the process is a very simple process. Unfortunately, it takes a little bit of time because we need to serve all parties of interest, which right now are the owner, and we can locate him. The other is the mortgage company that's out of state, so they just need to be served that the proceedings will begin. After they have served, we need to give notice to have a public hearing, and then it is up to the select board to hear me or any other cause to justify the dangerous building. If the board proceeds with the dangerous building and agrees, the town can secure it by boarding it up, or in such case, they did in the neighboring town of Leamington, we actually destroyed the building and removed it. So I would like to ask the board if we can proceed on an official basis to declare the building dangerous.
I make a motion, we start the dangerous building process for 3 Division Road.
Yes.
Motion and a second. Is there any discussion? One fact of discussion I'll say is that I've been to the property, and it is definitely
Dangerous.
worse on the inside. So
I think we've all been to the property.
it's dangerous. Have you been inside?
I haven't been inside, I'm not
You're
going
lucky.
inside. When
You're
I can
lucky.
smell it from my truck in the road, I'm not going inside.
So there's a motion and a second. All those in favor? Perfect.
Thank you. And I know I sent you a message as well, but after I was at the transfer station, I did inform them, and I did talk to Joanne today. They're not to accept any refuge from that property because 99% of those bags are full of something biohazard.
Yep.
So that being known, I do go there twice a day to monitor it myself, but other than that, the police are there.
Is someone living in that trailer?
There isn't, but there are signs that there is. Also, in the portable shed, it used to be there is a pop-up camper, the old style. That was collapsed. It is now open, so we did make note of that. We did also note that there are some new cameras been put up on the corner of the house, so whatever the activity is, the individuals are fully aware of what's going on before the police get there. So,
Yeah, do what you got to do.
all right, thank you very much, and I will keep you posted as we proceed.
Thank you. That is all I have for department reports. Next on old business, we have review of legal accounts. I'm trying to remember, I don't remember seeing a bill in there. Review of policies, we do have a policy to take home and review. It's the command vehicle policy for the fire department. Municipal parking lot paving update, is there anything on that, Bernie?
Yeah, Howard and I met with Sebago Techniques Wednesday. They came out with the engineer and their lead designer. We walked around the building, got a bunch of ideas together, and what they're gonna do is come up with a concept plan and bring it up and let everybody look at it. They're not gonna do the construction drawing or the bid documents yet, because we don't know what may or may not change after the public looks at it. But they are gonna have a concept and a rough idea of what the project is gonna cost.
Perfect, thank you. John, is there anything on the overlook?
I haven't spoken to them this week.
Okay. Purchase order policy, Howard is there. I know we all have a copy of the policy and a purchase order. Has everybody had a chance to review this? Is this a new purchase order or the ones that we're using?
No, that's a brand-new one. It's
Okay.
totally different from what the... I can get it here. This should take care of any doubts, what accounts that's going to be charged for what we're purchasing. It shows the date, obviously, the vendor, and the address. The purchase order is right on top. Now, I spoke to Julie about this today. Once this order's filled out, I mean, we'll just copy these purchase orders. She will assign a number to it and put it in a 3-ring binder, as opposed to having all these little stacks of POs that are bound. And then the best part about, as far as I'm concerned, is the billing. All the bills will be sent to this building, attention to the treasurer, and also note on the bottom, the purchase order must be on the invoice. And obviously, the rest of it's self-explanatory as far as the description and so forth and the cost. And then I've got room down the bottom to be signed by the department head, the treasurer as she receives it, and based on the rest of the policy, depending upon the amount, may require 1 or 2 signatures from a selectman. So, any comments?
So there won't be any yellow or pink copies
No.
anymore? So you're going to change that on the front of your...
You have to. But I want to just talk about this.
Yeah.
I can change that. That's a minor change. Does anybody see a problem with this PO as it stands?
How would the purchase order numbers be assigned? I think that
Well, the main thing is they would be in an order. In other words, if we started purchase order number 100, and then as they come in, it'd be obviously 102, 103, and so forth, so that we can, we'll know how much, what's out there and what the amounts are. So that there's ever a question, as far as money flow or anything, we'll know in a moment's notice how much we owe that hasn't been paid.
Howard, could each department have a number that they put on, like, just say the fire department, 100, and then a dash, and then,
Anything's possible.
I think it would make it much easier to track between departments as,
Yeah. I
Okay.
don't have a problem with that. Or it could be, Bernie, it could be just a letter designation, like fire department be F-102 or
Yep.
whatever.
Yep, as long as there's some way to differentiate between
Yep.
all the separate
No problem.
departments, I think that would work fine.
All right, so what would next steps be for this? A motion to,
I think it has to, I don't, you're changing the whole policy to a new policy. You have to vote
Well-
the old one out and the new one in.
Well, if we're going to do that, then we're going to have to change what you got in your hand right there.
Yeah,
So,
we definitely need to change the steps here, that definitely needs that.
personally, I still think that has to be tweaked a little bit, because there's a lot of pictures and stuff in that information that you've got that is not necessary. But that's my opinion.
and has this been sent out to the department heads to review, or budget committee, or?
No, that's based on just a small meeting we had a few weeks back. And this basically incorporates their concerns, the ones that were there.
It was sent to department heads, and you had copies of those emails on some of their concerns.
Okay.
So we have to wait
How the changes are made,
till the changes are made, and discuss, bring it up next week.
vote on it once the changes are made, and we have a policy.
Well, so is it okay if I go ahead and make those changes and present them next week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Next on the agenda, we have the November ballot items. There is a public hearing for this on Thursday, September 25th, at 6 PM. On the warrant is the disbursement ordinance, TV filming ordinance, earned paid leave ordinance, the dog ordinance, 3 questions from the fire chief, question about Nason Road for winter maintenance, as well as approving the winter maintenance road list. Bernie, is there any update on the fire drain? I saw some excavators there the other day.
Yes, Tony has his line installed from his drainage ditch up to the property line. The fire chief is going to talk to, or contact the project manager for Great Falls and get him up there so we can get our heads together and finally put this thing to rest.
Perfect.
I think if we don't have a plan from Great Falls to take care of this by next week, I think we need to step up our request and have it either come from our attorney or pull out the contract. I think there's a mediation clause.
Yeah, it's gone on.
Invoke that. I know we've been waiting a lot of stuff, and it's been kicked around.
Have they balked or anything on doing anything up there?
I think we ought to give them at least another week. It was up, when they left the last time.
I said a week,
Well,
or 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Did
when
you
they-
say bought, I'm sorry, bought or balked?
Balked.
Purchased or
No,
bought?
if,
No,
are they,
balked.
is
Well,
there
they've already
is there
arranged
an
to have
issue
balked at it.
between
They haven't.
Great Falls and the town? That's what I'm basically asking, is there a
Well,
reason why we're dragging
Maybe I
on this?
disagree. I'm not going to say they said they wouldn't do anything, but they haven't, from what I've seen, they haven't been real warm and fuzzy, like, hey, we'll take care of this because it's our problem. They haven't stepped right up and said that.
No, but
And
when they left the last time, the agreement was we would get the pipe in there, and then we'd all get together and sit down and figure out how we're gonna tie on to that. So we weren't trying to go between 2 points and not make any sense. So,
I just see it going to next spring, and that's going to be too bad.
When's the meeting? When's the meeting, or they don't know?
we're gonna contact the project manager and have him come out, so when the meeting's there, I'll let everybody know. If we have to, we'll get the top brass out here. That's not a problem either.
Yeah.
Perfect. John, anything on the Minuteman proposal?
No, that's aligned with the cameras.
Yep. Nothing new on the Maine model franchise update? Heat pumps for the 3 town buildings, not yet. Nothing has come in yet for quotes or on our requests. Facility recommendations. Last week, we asked if the list could be sent to Isaac on facility maintenance. I did review the list, and it looks like there are a couple things, a lot has been checked off and done. There are a couple things that need to be addressed. I don't know if everybody's had the chance to review this yet. But I think that it is definitely something we can chip away at. There are some things on here that Isaac can't do or doesn't feel comfortable doing because of the size of the project. But there is, like I said, a lot on here that has been done. Couple of the things could possibly be added into our lawn mowing contract that's coming up and stuff like that. So I don't know if we want to talk about this further or if we want to take this home and review it. I know I
prefer we
okay.
deal with it next week.
So we'll come back next week with this. Speaking about mowing contract for town properties, we have the copy of the mowing contract here. This is coming up for
October 15th.
October 15th
Yep.
renewal.
That runs the same as our other one.
Okay. So does the board have any changes they want to see on this? Any additions? I know there was a lot brought up last week about possibly adding it to the contract. I don't know if we did more investigating.
Question.
Yeah. I don't want to get yelled at.
With a mowing contract across from our house by the church, I mean the cemetery, why aren't they weed whacking or mowing on the side of the road? You know, you got the rock wall.
Yep.
On the state side? Up next to the road?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, usually when you mow, you do a complete job. It just looks shabby.
We're the
They
same, that's what we were
look-
talking about last week up at the Outlook, it's the same thing. They don't like going over the guardrail, they don't like going in, it's probably not even our property, it's probably state property. I'm not saying we can't do it.
Are we talking about the Highland Cemetery?
No,
What's across from it?
Up on my house.
Yeah, but he doesn't mow that, right?
Which, I'm not familiar, is that the hillside? Is that the hillside one?
He mows the Highland and the Highland
And he-
Annex.
Yeah, we have, so our other mowing contractor mows hillside, that's the one you're talking about.
When is his contract up? This is
The
his-
same, you
same
guys-
thing.
Yeah,
The
that's the
same
one
year.
that you asked me last week to go and get,
Across the street from my house, how's that?
Yeah.
What is
Yes.
that?
That's, it's not
What
on
is
this
that
contract.
cemetery?
It's on the other contract.
that's him, then
That-
yeah, that's.
He won't
doesn't
do
want
it.
to do the overlook, so I'm sure he's not.
Well, because they have one that, the church cemetery,
Yeah,
but then the other part is the town's
yeah,
responsibility.
yeah, the
But
contract,
it just looks
I agree.
half done.
That's what Wade
It
brought
looks
up last
shabby,
week at
not
the,
finishing,
Yeah, it's like at the Overlook, everything's mowed
Exactly.
perfectly, and then you got 5-foot tall weeds right down the side.
well, you look at the neighbors and they're not afraid to weed whack it. Sorry,
I
too,
just think it
too
just
soon?
looks
Well, it's
unfinished.
like, they were talking about the wall up here, right, before Locust Hill, all the 5, like, I think Kathy brought it up last couple weeks, that's, same thing. It's kind of, it's right up next to the road, no one takes care of it. So,
Dean wants to do it?
I make a motion, we put all the town mowing together on one contract and go out to bid.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Is there any discussion? I think that is great and be better.
So,
One change on this Exhibit A, the Moore Building's no longer there, and they get $50 each building.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we need to take a couple of weeks and go over both contracts and look at them, and we need to, we got to make sure that we're keeping the body of the contract the same. That's been looked at by the attorney.
The body and the addendums, they need to start.
Well, the body
Lining
needs
up.
to be, the body should be kept the same basically for every contract. Then the addendum should be the work that they're doing and how they're doing it. But the contract should be the same for every contract we put out, because that was the idea of bringing this to the attorney a couple years ago and have them draw this up. And then the exhibits or addendums can be added to the back as needed for each additional, whatever their specific duties are going to be. So we ought to take them both and look them over, check them over for mistakes, additions, deletions, and come up with new exhibits for each of them, or for the one that we're going to have, one complete exhibit for both, all the properties we have now.
I agree. Okay, so there's a motion and a second on combining them. All those in favor? Perfect.
So do you want to see the bid from the other mowing contract for now, or do you want to do this
No.
first and then?
I don't think, I don't think so, right?
No, did he come back with a price?
No, we had set the 15.
Yeah, so I would say no. Just tell him we're putting it all together and
If he
going out
wants
to bid for it all.
If he wants to bid.
And he can bid on it, yeah.
Thank you for reaching out, though.
That's fine.
All right. Discuss purchase of map 44, lot 51. The cell phone number was wrong on the letter sending,
I have a letter to send out today.
okay.
Where is that?
Map 44, lot 51.
It's an island off of Lake Arrowhead. They sent us a letter offering to buy it, and
They sent a letter last week asking to buy it for a reasonable price, but didn't put an offer.
didn't give a price.
So I requested that they send a formal offer. We have the moratorium ordinance to sign. That was voted in last week at the special town meeting, so we will sign that after the meeting. And then I want to bring up, did everybody get a copy of this, Alicia? Okay. The snow plowing contract, again, I was reviewing the contract and found a part of the actual contract, line item 13, reads conflict. To the extent that there is any conflict between the proposal, Exhibit C, and this agreement, or this agreement and the RFP, Exhibit A, the terms of this agreement shall control. So basically, if there's any second guessing in any of the exhibits, that we go back to this contract itself. And if you look at line item 9 in that contract, reading performance bond or irrevocable letter of credit, the contractor shall furnish the town with either an irrevocable letter of credit or performance bond, which shall be renewed annually in the amount of 65% of the annual contract price within 30 days of the bid award. Failure to maintain such performance bond and/or irrevocable letter of credit shall constitute a breach of this contract. That being said, we did email, or I did send a letter last week as a breach of contract that went out. We got some documents back today. Still not all of the requested documents. One of the documents that came back was for the irrevocable letter of credit, but it was a pre-approval. It was not a holding of the irrevocable letter of credit, which in my mind still, pre-approval is not sufficient. That is dated 5 days after the due date of the original item. In my mind, I believe that the contractor is still in breach of the contract. In that letter, I gave 7 days, which will expire tomorrow, the 9th, so to correct the issues. I just wanted to bring it up again, point out that thing that we saw and kind of just talk through it as a board and see what the rest of the board feels and what we want to do about it.
Was everything else sent in but that?
Um,
I'm just missing, oh, no, I actually did respond. Yes, I did get everything.
You said everything that he's supposed to send in, we've got it?
This afternoon.
But it's,
Registrations hadn't expired from last year yet. Inspection stickers, got a couple of them, can't really 100% see. Driver's list, he said is the same from last year. Insurance, and then the pre-approval letter for letter of credit.
that's the one that I'm having the issue
I did
with.
forward them to the board, both emails.
Yeah, that's the one that I'm having the issue with, is the letter of credit. The letter of credit stated in this contract, we're now in the third year of the contract. Contract wording hasn't changed, due September 1st. The thing that was submitted today after being delivered by our constable, a letter of breach, was a pre-approval dated September 5th. I know if it was me holding a contract, I would do it differently, but I don't know.
That basically, he's had this contract for 2 years, and it should be a rubber stamp by the bank on that issue right there.
Well, and reading item 9, it's failure to maintain such performance bond or irrevocable letter of credit, so therefore it shouldn't have been expired. It should have been renewed automatically. Is considered a breach. So I just wanted to bring that up, see what the board thought. Like I said, I don't want to be driving around this winter every storm.
I'm not going to be driving around, putting 150, 200 miles on a storm. If he's in breach of contract,
Yep.
let's
make
move
a-
on now.
I make a motion, we pull the contract.
I'll second that
Did we
motion.
give him a letter that said he has till tomorrow afternoon? Should we wait till tomorrow afternoon?
Correct. So if we want to make that motion, we'll pull the contract if we do not have the items by the end of tomorrow.
That doesn't change what you're stating, though.
No.
There's no way to
Correct.
overcorrect what you've brought up.
There's
I
no
mean,
way
you
to
can-
what?
What Brady has brought up, you're not overcorrecting by waiting.
You
one
can't
more
correct
day.
it.
You can't correct that. Can you? You were supposed to keep with your letter of credit.
It's written black and white. If we don't have it right now, he's in breach. Just stop the contract.
I'll just read line item 11. In the event the town determines that the contractor's performance does not comply with the requirements of this agreement, the board shall verbally notify the contractor of the breach, followed by a written notice, and the contractor shall be allowed one plowable storm after such notice to correct the problem. If identified deficiencies in equipment or performance are not corrected within that time period, the board shall have the following remedies, in addition to other remedies available at law or equity. A, the board may verbally terminate the agreement and shall immediately thereafter provide a written notice of termination to the contractor. The reason I wanted to read that is it says plowable event. I know this.
I think you got to put common sense into play.
I 100% agree. I
believe
just
when it says there's a breach, that you have one plowable storm to rectify, that to me is, the roads aren't good enough, they weren't saying that you have.
100%.
That you have a
100%. I
plowable
just
storm to rectify, but to say that a breach that should have been taken care of when the letter of credit ran out, to say, oh, now, I mean, we don't have a letter of credit, you can't even let them on the road to get through a plowable storm, right? I mean,
correct.
so I think common sense comes into play, and that line of one plowable storm goes away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if we allowed that, we're going to get one storm and something happens, now we're stuck with it for the winter. And
Yeah,
we can't
and-
get someone else to take the
Well,
place.
And like I said, if he doesn't have the letter of credit or the bond in place,
Forget it.
we can't even in any good conscience let him get, I mean, I know he has all the insurance and stuff, but you can't let him plow the roads. to start.
All right, there's a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion on this?
I doubt it can be rectified, but all I would say is, based on the letter we sent him, I'd like to see the motion change to say it'll be terminated if by the end of the day tomorrow.
No,
That's up to you.
I'll change it to go to the end of the day tomorrow.
I think we just need to follow in line with that, the letter that was sent. I agree with that.
I just don't want to kick this can down the road. Here it is, the middle of September.
we're kicking it right now.
Well, I know, but it's the middle of September. I'm not gonna go through what we went through last fall. You and I came onto the board, we inherited a mess amongst a bunch of other messes,
far as
and I'm not
I'm
gonna live through that again.
I have a question. So, breach of contract, we get a new contractor. Well, we're now gonna pay $500,000 for the year.
Nobody says we're gonna.
But what I'm asking is, can we go after his insurance? Because he was in breach.
Not his insurance, you can't go after his insurance.
Or would he go after?
You would go after his letter of credit,
Which he doesn't have.
which expired in
That expired at the end.
in May or June.
That has to be changed too, so that the bond or the letter of credit runs for the duration of the
3
contract.
years for the
That's what
contract.
Brady's like.
That's-
Yeah, that's what this says it's going to do.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, I think the banks only issue that, just saying that, I don't know if the banks issue them for more than 1 year, because I'm dealing with this at work, so I don't know if the banks issue it more than 1 year.
But even if it's a
But
year-
it should be auto-renewed. You should auto-renew it if
He
you're the
should have on his
contract.
own, a
Correct,
month before,
correct.
renewed it. And,
I am in no way defending, I'm just saying, I think,
no.
He either does
Yeah.
that or he gets a bond, one or the other, a performance
Yeah.
bond. You know, you can get a bond for the duration of the contract. I realize it's pricey, but
It is what it is.
it is what it is. It's part of the cost of doing business. That's,
so, yeah, the letter that was sent just stated that we will have to look into options to terminate the contract after 9/9, just because the letter says you have to give 7 days. So one of the addendums say you have to give 7 days, so I just don't know if we want to change that motion.
Well, we shouldn't have.
Tomorrow,
We shouldn't have given him the letter if we weren't sure to begin with, and we gave him till tomorrow afternoon, so whether or not he's got it or not, we still.
At the end of the day, there's no way to
At the
correct
end of
this
the day,
breach.
it should have been taken care of.
So,
And I'm holding to my motion.
well, I made the motion, you made the second. If you send him a letter saying he has to have it by tomorrow afternoon, is that what it
He
said?
made the motion.
he made the
He
motion.
seconded it.
Oh, I did? Well, sorry.
Don't confuse me.
Well, what's one more day gonna matter?
I will say this, Sha-
No.
we have a motion in a second. No matter what, the letter's getting sent out tomorrow. It's not getting sent tonight. So tomorrow, it will be dated the 9th.
What letter?
The
Terminating?
terminating the if this motion goes through, the termination of contract, I'm not writing that letter tonight.
But that doesn't make any difference. Even if he brought the stuff in tomorrow morning, he's still
Correct,
terminated.
correct. Sure,
So we're gonna terminate the contract regardless.
That's the motion.
if we vote on it. Yep.
This circus started 3 years ago,
Okay.
when all of this mess. If the board had insisted on a bond, like I discussed many meetings, they would have, the bond company would have given you $730,000 for the first 2 contracts, for the first 2 years, plus this year to cover, and we wouldn't be even having this discussion.
Well,
But the
unfortunately, we are.
Are you
Right.
saying the
So-
bond company would have paid off the last 2 years?
They would have covered the complete contract, 3 years. The bond company is a bond company, and if it's a breach of contract, it would have covered the whole contract
So,
of him.
just-
Yes.
Enlighten me, because I want to learn.
Yeah,
If he had a bond in place.
Yeah.
And it was a 3-year bond,
yeah,
and we're terminating his contract today,
yes.
they would have paid us back for the last 2 years that we
They
paid him?
sure would.
I would love to see that bond, because that,
We did this years ago, John.
But he didn't-
We did
but
the
we-
whole, the
How-
whole.
when did you,
I'm not opposed to doing a 3-year bond. My question is, he did 2 years' worth of work. The bond company's not gonna pay you for 2 years' worth of work that he
That's what a
did.
bond is. I can't tell you
It's
why
not.
or whatever,
Well,
I'm just saying.
I
And
want-
each year,
I wanna
this
see
this
that bond.
started, well, I don't know the exact years, it's been 5, 6, 7 years. They used to have a bond. And then the board started changing it to the irrevocable whatever, and it was 100%. Then the next contractor only had to come up with 45%. Well, 45% of $365,000 for this year would have been peanuts. Then it went up, the next contract went up to, you had to have 65%. Well, if you're gonna have a letter of credit, have at least 100% of it. What's the sense to have? I mean, this has been a nightmare, and you guys just keep going on and on and on.
We're in the middle of it, we're trying to vote. So
Right, yes, I know.
I don't think we need to beat a dead horse anymore. I think
So,
we've learned from our mistakes.
Just to
and-
clarify, our own lawyer sat here and said, you are much better off with an irrevocable letter of credit than a bond.
Well, that's just his opinion. I'm just going on the bonds, and there's many businesses out there that have the bonds, and they're covered, and they're very comfortable with them. But my point is, Brady, this isn't the only contract that has been messed up with this board.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
The sidewalk contract, you add things on. Did I understand you are putting the town mowing contract out to bid this year? Last
Yep.
week, you said you were going to just add on to it. So that one's going to be, well,
We didn't
that's
say we were going to add on. We asked for a price to see if we
he
were
was
going
going to put
to.
an addendum
Yeah,
on.
but we didn't
yeah.
agree that we were going to do it. We
Right, so
asked for
that
a
one-
price.
Okay, well, at least that one is good.
Well, you just said that we agreed to extend it for a year, so I just wanted to make it clear that we didn't agree to extend it for
He
a
was going
year.
to ask him for a price to see how much it would be.
To
But
see if
you-
it would be
yeah,
worth, to see if it would be
yeah.
worth
Well,
extending it for a year.
You did extend the fire chief's contract for a year in executive session without checking with the people and so you are famous, the board is famous for just extending contracts.
Well, hopefully in March, there's
The-
2
the
open
tra- the
seats,
trash.
and some of the people who
Oh,
think that we're so famous can run.
Pray to God we get somebody with backbones that will do
Hey,
their own
there may be 3 open
thinking.
seats.
Hey, I'm
All right, let's move on. There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor of terminating the contract? Opposed? All right, contract's terminated.
With that being done, I make a motion that we go to invitation-only bid to the 2 closest bidders to the last contract, which were Nick Richardson and
Dennis Bridges.
what?
Dennis Bridges.
And Dennis Bridges. And we asked them to have their bids ready to meet with us in executive session next week.
We got to make some changes to this contract
We
first.
we will. I'm not, I want to enter into, I want to, everybody to look at the contract. We can't, I don't want to wait another week.
Yep.
If we've terminated the contract, let's meet with let's try to get each of them in next week in an executive session to discuss the contract. We can go over the changes we think we're going to make, and we will try to negotiate a price
Yep.
with one of them.
Yep. You need a second? I'll second that motion.
If we're going to go out to bid, I don't think we should. I think we should go out to bid, and we can ask them to meet with us, but I don't know if we should do an invitational-only bid just for the sake of the reputation the select board has. But that's my 2 cents.
We can't take the time to go
Yeah.
through the whole process.
Can't go out for 30 days. You get out of 30 days, you're going to be in
And
the
I'm not
1st
saying
of
that we
November.
have to, we don't have to accept either one of them, but I would like to meet with each one of them.
1 year.
I would say 1 year to get through where we're at, and then,
So you had the motion?
I had the motion.
Seconded.
Bernie seconded it.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Perfect. So Alicia, can you set up those meetings?
So what time?
Executive session to start at 6?
6 and 6:30, have them each come a half hour apart?
right, that's all I have for old business. New business, we need to approve the CDBG public hearing minutes. These minutes were typed by Gail. Alicia?
Yeah, the town clerk would just like the board to
Yep.
approve them. I have the one you're gonna sign.
So I make a motion, we approve the minutes from the August 18th, 2025 I don't want to say this right, CDBG public hearing minutes.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? All those in favor? Perfect. Cemetery mowing, we just kind of covered that, so we'll review the contracts, combine them. Set a date for the general assistance public hearing. This is the annual,
Sorry, yeah, it's every year. You have the copy of them. It's just, we have, the state sends us new maximums that we're allowed to use each year. So we just have to do a public hearing on those. So I would like us, if we can do it on the 6th, just beginning of the meeting. It doesn't have to be any,
it takes
Give
less
us
than
a
5
copy
minutes.
of all that.
the what?
You send us a copy of that.
Yeah.
It's about this thick, and it's
Oh,
the same thing every year.
If
It's
Howard
really
wants,
just
you
a-
can give him that copy right there, Brady,
Yep.
if you want. And then if
It's just
anybody
a
else wants-
formality that we have to do so we can get reimbursed from the
The
state.
state makes us do
This
it.
brings me back to my low-income housing days. These charts,
There you go.
Good times.
I don't miss those.
I just need you to vote for.
I make a motion, we set a public hearing for the general assistance on October 6th at 7 PM for the select board meeting to follow afterwards.
Second it.
Motion to second, any discussion?
What time did you say, I'm sorry?
7 PM
Right, okay, fine.
for the select board meeting to follow
Yep.
afterwards. All those in favor? Perfect. Flu clinic, did Saco Valley Healthcare reach out?
Yeah, so we haven't, well, since I've been here, we haven't had one, so they were wondering if we wanted to host one.
Didn't we do one?
We did a COVID vaccine
Okay.
clinic.
I make a motion we allow Alicia to schedule a flu clinic, vaccine clinic in this building on a schedule that works for everybody.
Tuesday is what they're looking for, so that's what we'll go with.
All right, there's a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? All right. And discussion of the warrant. Alicia?
So this was from our budget committee meeting. There was discussion on a few different things that the board needs to decide on, which was a generalized increase in each budget. Do we want to see what department heads come back with instead? And we had mentioned at that meeting, was a couple board members who talked about splitting out the warrant a little bit more. So that would be something we need to decide on for budget season. If you're gonna do that.
I think we ought to wait and see what the department heads come up with.
I agree.
I'm not in favor of this percentage increase. That'll be done by line, or department by department, I should say, instead of line by line. That's a nasty taste in some people's mouths.
All right, so we'll wait until, they have to get it back by October 12th?
We asked for them back by the 26th of September, and
Okay.
the first budget
Enough
meeting
time.
is October
Second.
2nd.
Okay. Perfect. So we'll wait for those. Is there any,
As they can.
is there any hearing of citizens? Cheryl?
On a roll item, as we'll get all my questions answered that while I'm at that. The snow plowing contract there got me thinking, so I pulled out a lot of other contracts that we've been having. Sidewalks, trash, and mowing were extended last time. Are all of those going out to bid this year? When, I think they're out in '26 or something like that, but when the next term, once they go through their contracts.
I think we'll have to do what we just did and vote on those. I mean, I can't say not going to say yes, and then in a year you come and say, well, you said.
Yeah, but isn't the ordinance of the policies or something that they have to go out to bid?
The select board is allowed to extend for 1 year.
1 year, but all of these three have been extended for a year. They're out of there.
So then, without me reading the ordinance and knowing it off the top of my head, I would assume they do go out to bid, but I'm not going to say yes or no.
Some discussion, but, okay. And reference to the fire chief there, the extension that they had, I know it was an executive committee, but I have the paperwork, their agreements. Can you answer this question for me? What is a full-time, part-time?
I'm not answering questions on the fire chief. Somebody else
Oh,
can.
whatever, whoever. I mean, full-time is full-time, part-time is part-time. Where I used to work, I'm just asking a question. I just want a definition of that phrase.
I think what it is, Cheryl, he just puts in a limited amount of hours. He's not working 40 hours a week. I know some people, he's given his resignation.
Oh, that's got nothing to do, I'm just
No, but
asking,
I'm
what
I'm
age.
just telling
Yeah.
you, if they want a full-time fire chief, you better buckle up, okay?
Yeah.
I bet you're gonna look between $125,000 and $130,000 to include his salary, benefits, and everything else, if you
Okay.
go a full-time fire chief.
Okay, but we have a fire chief and a deputy fire chief,
Yeah.
so isn't that basically 1 and 1 is a full-time between the two of them?
No, they're both
No?
part-time. They're both
Part-time.
part-time.
Oh, okay,
And I think their salaries between them are a little more than $80,000.
Budget line was 87,000 this year.
80.
I think it's around $83,000, so.
okay, just answering my questions.
Plans are either full-time or you're part-time. This part-time/full-time is.
It's confusing, it's for, belongs like me.
I understand the confusion. I
You know,
understand the
but, okay.
confusion.
Question, and I don't know whether this is, I was talking to have a municipal, snow plowing and everything department. With the fire department, I know there's several part-time EMTs, I don't know all of their titles. They do a good job and everything. What is the one versus the other of having, say, 4 or 6 full-time versus all the part-timers? Just a question. Is it feasible?
Per diems, with full-time, you're going to be offering benefits, you're going to be offering retirement, you're going to be offering a lot more, and
You're going to need more than 4.
Well, say 6, 2 on, 24, or either 6 or 8, rather, how many do
you
we
can do,
have?
I mean, Leamington, I think they have 4 full-time and they have 4 shifts, A shift, B shift, C shift, and D shift. So each shift is staffed with a full-time provider and a per diem. I think it's doable. I think it could be done, but it's going to be a lot of money.
It's going to be a lot of money.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm just saying, versus what we have now, with the budget.
Per diem.
Because the fire department's kind of a little funky right now, isn't it, with the budget? It's battling, rumors, town of Limerick,
There's
what can
a
I
lot of
say?
rumors in this town,
Well,
and I'm sick
this
of them.
town.
I
Okay.
think if anybody has any concerns about the budget, they ought to go up and sit with the fire chief. He's got his ledgers right there, and he
Yeah.
will.
Oh, I know, I'm just saying,
will
I'm
tell
just
you where he
asking if the
stands.
full-timers would eliminate, a lot of the bookkeeping and stuff like that. It's just, just me
know,
thinking,
it's a lot of
which is
money.
dangerous. Harassment policy, I got the new one the other day because I had the old one. And I just one question. It says, if you can't get your supervisor, blah, 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 you have to go in front of the board. What if you're being harassed by the board? Who do you go to?
Department of Labor.
Yeah, I mean, Department of Labor, I don't,
Oh, okay, all right. I mean, just when I read that, I'm thinking, oh, well, there's got to be another step, so, okay.
did the previous one have what to do if?
Basically, it was the same,
Okay.
Yeah, it just I think there might have been a couple of words, but I thought where you guys were redoing things, it might be a big change or whatever, a significant change, so.
Until they get a human resource person.
Yeah, right. No, I
Really?
mean, but really, if you
Well, town
have a problem
manager.
with the board, who do you go to? There's nobody. Alicia, we'll go to you.
Begs the question for a town manager or a town administrator. It really does.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Cheryl, to answer, just if there is the latest expense report that's come out from the treasurer dated today at 11:30,
Yeah,
shows the fire department budget has spent 70.98% of their budget.
79.8?
No, 70.98, so just under 71%.
Okay, all right.
With just over 75% of the year gone.
Okay,
I
and
would say
this
they're-
is, fiscal year goes until March?
No.
December.
December.
Oh, December, like a regular year?
January, yeah,
Oh,
calendar year.
that's right, we
Yep.
beg off money for 3 months until yeah, okay. All right, so,
So
doing
that
good.
might
Yeah.
dispel any rumors out there that they've,
awesome, thank you.
Lisa?
Couple of things. Want to remind people that Saturday is the Historical Society's open house at the Academy, which we have several displays. Yeah, the history of Limerick Historical Society, the Civil War presentation that Wendy Jones put on last month, the time capsule, and the actual founding of the Limerick Historical Society. So several different displays. That's 10 to 2 at the Academy. We're also going to be selling calendars, the, by
Semi-quincentennial?
the birthday party calendars,
300th, 250th birthday?
$5 a piece. And we'll have envelopes up there, so if anybody wants to write their letter to put in the time capsule. Now that the event's over, going into fall, November 8th and 9th is Limerick Historical Society's Fall Craft Fair. I have applications that you can get. I can mail you one. We're looking for vendors. We've actually got a pretty good turnout already for vendors. So that is Saturday and Sunday, November 8th and 9th. Oh, yeah, we have memberships. Anybody want to join the Historical Society? We're always looking for help. Questions?
One question. The Academy building,
Yep.
is all of the archives, whatever, up there? Or is it split between the old church and the academy?
The bulk of everything's up at the Academy, the 2 floors. We do have some stuff at the church that came over from the Moore Building, and we're still in the process of trying to put it out. But, yeah, our goal is to have a little bit of a museum upstairs in the church with some of the historical stuff. Thanks, you guys. Thank you.
Any other hearing citizens? I'm seeing none. I make a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor? Perfect. Thank you.